I'm not sure if you're a little bit familiar or not with what we are developing right now in CYPE. So I'm just gonna make a really quick overview about everything so you can understand more or less what I'll be talking about. Well, in CYPE, we are developing this platform, which is BIM Service Center, which is a common data environment which allows different professionals to collaborate in a BIM project. And basically, here you will find in the store different softwares which allow different professionals to collaborate in a BIM environment. Some of the softwares are free, and the two softwares I'll be talking about today belong to the category architecture. So you can find here different ones, and we'll be talking about IFC Builder and Open BIM Layout. So what are those two softwares? Basically, IFC Builder is the software we have developed for developing basic projects. This allows professionals to make IFC buildings from scratch. You know that IFC is an open format, which means that it allows professionals to work in an open BIM environment. This means that you do not depend on specific software from specific developers. You can share this format, and a Revit user will be able to see it, as well as a Archicad user or Ecosim user, etc. So let's begin. Here I have clicked New Project. That means that he will ask me about the name, New Project. Okay, the default location, fine. Now I can start from scratch or use a reference, another IFC, and I'm just, or CAD drawing or whatever. I'm just gonna start from scratch. Now I have to define the floors of the building. Actually, in the beginning, you have only one floor, the ground floor level and the roof level. I can just start adding floors, for example, first floor. Yes, and then another one. One interesting feature is that you cannot only define individual floors, but also a number of floors inside a group, which means that if I write 5 here with 3 as height or distance between floors, he will create 5 elements which will be linked, and every change you apply to any of these elements will be applied to all the floors of the building. So you wish to introduce the drawings? Okay. Perfect. No, I don't have any. Exactly, yes. I don't have any. No, accept. Yeah, perfect. So now we're here in the IFC environment. This is a pretty straightforward software. That means that you can go from left to right in all the tabs, and you will be able to develop your building in Open BIM format. First, you define the location. I'm just gonna stay with the default north location upwards. Afterwards, you can edit the floors you have just introduced, which I want to do because I have done it right. Okay, this is basically the same menu. Then you can copy elements from one group to another. I don't have any elements yet, so we're gonna skip that for now. And here you can manage the files that are loaded in the project, which I don't have any because the project is empty yet, and the visibility, which is not relevant now because I haven't started drawing yet. So if I just jump into the architecture tab, you're gonna see different tools for drawing the building. First, I'm just gonna, here you have the snapping options. You can both click on the magnet and you can activate them. And also here you have other snapping options that will let you snap the cursor to the grid. I'm just gonna activate this. And if I just click walls, external walls, here I define the type of walls. This means that in this external wall, I can define a new type, which is external wall 01. And this is the thickness, which is 30 centimeters, which is something typical here in Spain. Accept. So basically, I can just now start drawing wherever. Here you can also define where the wall is going to be regarding the reference line. I'm just going to stay with the axis, which is the default option, and you can just start drawing the building. Perfect. You have to bear in mind that right now we are in the ground floor. You can see here where we are. Okay. So now if I just want to start drawing interior walls, it is the same procedure, except that I would choose partition instead of external wall. Partition, I define a new type, partition C1, and this time I'm just gonna stay with a 15 centimeter thickness. Accept, and I can just start drawing wherever my building is gonna be. This is just an example. Great. If you wanna see in 3D what it is looking like, you can click here in 3D, view all the floors, and you can just configure the visibility here in the left tab. For example, here. And basically, you can see all the walls I have just drawn in the ground floor, and you can play around with the transparency of the facade and the partitions, etc. Great. Perfect. So I'm just gonna draw the street or the ground floor. I'm just gonna find a new type. I don't know, floor. C1. Perfect. This is really straightforward. I mean, this really doesn't need that much explanation. And also, actually, you can define which kind of element you're drawing. You can define openings in the floors. And afterwards, you can actually edit what kind of floor you are dealing with. So if you make a mistake, you can always rectify it afterwards. If we jump into the next tab, you're going to find different tools for drawing several kind of openings, starting from doors. For example, doors one width 90 centimeters, height 230. Okay. And you can just start drawing. Right now, I'm snapping to the grid. You could also do free drawing or use external snaps. I'm just gonna stay with this in order to draw quicker. And you can also define glazed walls. For example, glazed 1 width is gonna be 2 meters. Perfect. And even though you're drawing 2D, obviously this is all 3D geometry. You can also define openings, skylights, also edit the kind of door or the kind of external carpentry. Move different elements you have created, adjust. Exactly, you can adjust where the element's gonna be, if it's gonna be in the outer side of the wall or in the inner side or in the axis of the wall, right? Great. So jump into the next anime. I'm just gonna draw the columns. Okay. Perfect. Cancel. And then instead of just creating all the columns one by one, another option, if you go to edit, you can actually copy elements, which means that, well, you could actually define a selection filter, meaning that only the columns would be selected. And then you can just copy what you created exactly like that. If I jump into the 3D view all the floors, you can see here that the model is being further and further developed. Obviously, this could be adjusted in order to be exactly in its place, but I'm just gonna make it quick in order to not to consume much time drawing a building afterwards. I'm gonna show you some examples of more elaborated buildings. Perfect. So this is only one floor. If I would like to start drawing upper floors, because remember that you have floor 1 and floor 2, 6. You know, actually, I'm just gonna erase this floor, and I'm just gonna stick with floor 1, 5, meaning that these are all grouped floors or linked floors. This means that if I jump into architecture, go to this floor, you can configure whether you're seeing the drawing under, you're seeing the elements that are drawn under this floor or above this floor. Obviously above I don't have anything yet, so I'm just gonna activate floor below, and you can just, with using the same procedures, this time I'm just gonna select internal floor slab, new type, internal floor 01. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. And the same for the walls. I'm just gonna use the same external wall here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Partitions. I don't know. And columns. Okay. I could actually, I'm just gonna go, and then afterwards I'm just gonna answer the questions, okay, in order to not to get, this more fluent. I'm seeing your questions, and I'm just gonna answer them afterwards when I finish explaining the whole program, okay? Okay, I'm just gonna draw some doors as well. And some glazed surface. Well, actually, I'm just gonna define a new glaze, which is gonna be 2 meters wide. Here, here. Okay. Okay, so the thing is that because this floor was grouped with other floors when defining the floors, if I just now activate the 3D view, you're gonna see that the whole building or all these floors have been drawn. And actually here you can play with an horizontal cutting plane, and also with other kinds of cutting planes. If I double click, I just swap this. Okay, so you can see all the elements I have just drawn in a second. Okay, so now the only thing that's missing is the roof, which I'm just gonna draw in a second. Flat roof, for example, new kind of roof, CO1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm just gonna define a defense. CO1. Okay. Okay, so basically, this would be it. I would have my basic architectural 3D model of the building. Obviously, this has been drawn really fast. I'm just afterwards gonna show you some examples. So, what about your questions when drawing the floor? When drawing the floor, it must be on the wall axis or on its other edge. Actually, you can define that when you're defining a wall. You can decide where it's gonna be. For example, if I here new wall external, you can define here where it's gonna be. What you're drawing is a generative line or a reference line. That means that you can define if it's going to be in the other side or in the inner side, because this program is only for basic drawing, and afterwards we are developing more software in order to define the different layers of the wall. That means that for now you can just draw wherever it's more comfortable for you, and afterwards you're going to be able to decide whether this is going to be a brick wall or stone wall or whatever. For now, you can decide this, okay? If the facade of the building is all glass, how can it be made? Actually, you know that CYPE has a very strong background in calculation. So let me just delete this thing. CYPE has a really strong background in energy calculation, structure calculation, and now we are jumping into the architectural drawing in order to offer clients a full suite of programs that are able to make the whole project. So for now, in order this model can be exported afterwards for conducting a thermal and energy calculation and an energy certification. So for now, because we are using Energy Plus as calculation software, right now we are obligated to define glazed surfaces as a series of windows. That means that if you want to make a surface a glazed surface, you have to do it like this. Let me for a second edit, delete, and delete only glazed. Okay, and if you define a glazed, I'm just gonna glaze 0.3 1 meter. So if you here want to define a glazed surface, for now you have to do it like this. Obviously, you can afterwards copy, so you do not have to draw it one by one. But this is actually because it is not that easy to define a glazed plane and afterwards to conduct a thermal calculation, even though we are developing technology to be able to do that and define these kind of elements as curtain walls, the same way as another software such as Revit would do that. For now, you have to stick with this method, which we know is not the best solution, but it is what we have now in order to be able to reuse this model for later calculations. What format does the software save to? In CYPE we are trying to develop Open BIM systems, which means that we are using interchangeable formats that do not depend on specific developed softwares. That means that we are working basically in IFC, which is the standard in Europe and probably worldwide soon. The program has its own native format, which is .cbim, but I'm just going to show it you right now. Is there any? I'm just going to save this question for the end, so you can see how this project is saved in the cloud and how you can access it from anywhere. For energy simulation, this software can produce. No, actually, this software is just for geometry definition. If you would go to the BIM Server Center store and then go to energy simulation, you're gonna, where is it? Where is it? Yes, this thing. Well, I have it in Spanish, but this means basically energy simulation. Here you can find different softwares, some of them free, to help you finishing constructing this energy model and also make a full energy certification. You know that our software is certified by the Spanish government and also in Italy and in France, if I'm not wrong, to make the energy certification of the building. Furthermore, you can use these kind of tools developed together with Fujitsu and other manufacturers in order to, yes, calculate the loads. I mean, we have we have more than 100 programs here. You can calculate the luminance of the building. Yes, you can calculate. You can also, if you usually work with Revit and you do not, because, actually, we are aware that our specialty right now is the calculation and justification of regulations. So we are offering our clients this solution for now, which is a free and easy to use solution for someone that not used to use the BIM technology. If you're working with Revit, which is the case of many of our clients here in Spain, you can use this free plugin in order to help you export to IFC and work together with the rest of the calculation-specific tools. This software can read basically IFC for reference of the 3D model and also DVG and DXF for if you have the plans of your project drawn in floor plan, you can use them as reference to draw. But okay, is there any question I've missed? Unless the question I've saved for the end, energy simulation. Actually, if you want to do the energy simulation, the only thing this software exports is the IFC. And then if you use SiteTurn HA Plus or any software we have here, you will be able to produce all the specific files for that field. What format? I'm just gonna save this for the end. And do you have accreditation from Building Smart for your IFC? Well, actually, we are working together right now for the Building Smart. I'm not sure what do you refer with accreditation. The IFC we are producing is fully operative. And we are actually the biggest and almost the only medium-sized BIM enterprise which is working with this kind of format as core for the projects. So I don't know, maybe the Building Smart will accredit us in the future, but I can tell you that we are working together with them in a lot of the software we are producing. So yes. What format? Yes. So what if you have just finished drawing your project and you want to export it in order to keep working with, I don't know, structure calculation, energy calculation, etc. Well, the only thing you have to do, you have to export it. And then if you have an account in BIM Server, which is something you can do, it's free. I mean, we are not, you can actually make really easily and really quickly and not paying anything an account in BIM Server. And this is really useful because it allows you to store your projects in IFC. And also it is a platform that allows the collaboration between professionals. I'm just gonna tell it. Okay. So I'm just gonna click export architectural model because this is the architectural model, export templates, and I'm not gonna generate any DVG. So if I want to export it to BIM Server, I have to select a project. I haven't created any project for this, so I'm just gonna create a new one. I don't know, example webinar type of project. Other view option not visible, management closed. Description. This is an example project. So the thing is that, just a second. No. One second, because this is not my BIM Server Center user. So I'm just gonna make it my user. Here you can, where is it? Where is it? Wow. Another person in the company just used this computer. I'm sorry for that. Well, actually, this doesn't matter. I'm just gonna upload it to another account, and this person just gonna find a new project in his account, but it's actually his fault for not logging out from this computer. Well, yes. Okay, I have just exported this project. I'm not being able to access it right now because it's in another account, and this is my account in BIM Server Center, but that doesn't matter because I have other projects which I will show you, and you will be able to see more or less what is the functioning of, or how this platform works. If you can actually change the language in preferences. English. Accept changes, so you are able to understand everything that's appearing on your screen. Okay, if I just go home, I can take a look at my projects. And for example, if I open this, which is a really famous building from Mies van der Rohe, the German architect, here you will find that you do not only have the architectural model made with IFC Builder, which is this thing you are seeing here. This is stored on the cloud. If I go to files, you will be able to see all the files that have been uploaded. If I click in one file, this is actually the IFC, and because the IFC can serve as a folder for other files. This contains the PDFs of calculations, the GLTS for visualization, the BC3, etc. So the idea is that every software we produce will generate an IFC file that contains all the justification of the regulation and of the calculation. Great, I'm just going to show you this thing, because here you can actually also access this from your mobile phone. I mean, you can access this project anywhere. In this project, there are 13 people working. You know, this is something similar to BIM 360 from Autodesk, unless this is free for users. And here you can activate all the different layers of the project that have been developed with different software we and other developers have uploaded here in BIM Service Center. For example, the structure has been calculated with CYPE. If I activate this, you will be able to see the structure, the furniture, water equipment, etc. Also, you can watch this in augmented reality. We have augmented reality free software you can find in the store, which is named Open BIM AR, if I'm not wrong. Just let me show you. Just a second. I have to look for it. Okay, this is the this is the BIM Server Center app for your mobile phones, which allow you to access the same thing I'm watching here, but from your device, from anywhere, basically with internet connection. Also, I just wanna activate carpentry. Yes, and you will be able to see more or less what I'm talking about. Well, you actually have to make it big before activating the layers. But yes, you can make the idea. And this allows you to develop the full calculation process from your project. Also, one good thing about this platform is because every specific software is separated into a small application. This allows you to collaborate with different people, meaning that, for example, one person can calculate the structure on one side, and then at the same time, another person would be developing the plumbing system for the building. Another people would be adding the furniture. Another person would be, for example, making this or designing these glazed surfaces. So this is the idea of open BIM collaboration, and all this would be, sorry, I just made exactly here. And this is all developed in open BIM technology, meaning that any person with any BIM software can access this information. And yes, this is. Oh yes, this is basically it. I'm letting your questions for the end. Okay. 1 second. I just activated this suspended ceiling, so I'm just gonna have to move downwards. Okay, here I am. Yes. Okay. So if you look in the Apple Store and in Google Play, you will be able to see the BIM Server Center AR. Yes. You know that if you have an iPhone, this will work for sure. If you have Android system, you have to check because Google has implemented this AR technology not long ago, and that means that perhaps if your device is not that new, it won't work, okay? But that is a Google issue, and I'm aware that they are trying to develop this kind of technology. And because we depend of that, we depend on that Google augmented reality technology, we cannot make it work for all the devices for now, but this is only a temporary issue. And yes, you can see your project in AR. This application is also free. You can see this 1 second. You can watch this in AR in real size in the workplace, and you will be able to check if all the installations and structure and anything is being executed as in the project. Okay. So this is basically it. This is the platform. Really, really quick. Actually, the platform has a lot more, but not to make this, in order not to make this very long, I'm just gonna stick with this basic feature, and I'm just gonna watch your questions because I see that you have a lot of questions about this. Okay. What happens if there is an element type that is not supported by the software? Are you able to create a new type? You know, this question is, I mean, because we work with IFC, and you may be aware that in IFC, every element is defined as an IFC class, an IFC type, which is similar to the system of categories of Revit, for example. When we detect that something is an IFC column, for example, we can read it as a column. Usually, I mean, if the column is a chair and you define a chair as a IFC column, obviously we're not going to be able to calculate that. But because we are working with this IFC standard, we can usually read these kind of elements when they are correctly defined. Also, when they have been made with Revit, we can read some of them using the free export plugin I have just shown you before. Which IFC format do you save to? IFC 2.3 and or 4? Yes, some time ago we worked with IFC 2.3, but because we are aware that IFC 4 offers more possibilities, even though it has some stability issues that have not been solved yet, we are developing everything in IFC 4 already in order to be prepared for the further improvements of this format. So everything is IFC 4. If you're, this is a basic. Yes. Regarding the Building Smart, actually, if I'm not wrong, the Building Smart event this year will be in China, and we will be there, ready to tell everyone there what is the new, how this works, basically, right? Okay. This is a basic architectural piece of software. What do you have for more detailed design? Oof, that's a really long to answer question, because as I told you before, we have a lot of software specialized in calculation. We have budget calculation, electricity, structure calculation. Actually, you can filter this by discipline. We have acoustics, we have HVAC, electrical, and you can find a lot of stuff. Actually, we have a little bit of everything. We have software that is able to calculate generally, internationally, and another software which is adapted to specific regulations from specific countries that we have relations with. Also, we have developed softwares from specific manufacturers. All the manufacturer software is free, meaning that you can calculate according to the specific standards. For example, this one by Toshiba lets you calculate all the installations with this level of detail, defining all the machines and ducts, and yes, basically everything. How can it be drawn? Suspended ceiling. In the store, you will be able to find a suspended ceiling application, which is free. So this suspended ceiling application will let you define the suspended ceiling. Actually, I'm just gonna, I thought that maybe I can show you. Let's see. Well, this one had, I want to show you more works, but I'm sure this one has suspended ceiling. So I'm just gonna show this one. Suspended. And afterwards, if you want, I can show you more examples of work developed with different applications. Okay. So here in the 3D view, you cannot see this because this is a web 3D viewer. You are not seeing the supports. But if you use the suspended ceiling applications, you will be able to design all the supports with the screws and all the detail, even though this cannot be displayed in the web 3D viewer because otherwise it would be just too long to load. Your cloud is subscription. Our cloud is free. If I just log out, you will be able to create a new account. You can read this here, what it is about, and you can make accounts for free. And these accounts let you have not infinite projects, but a lot of them, because you know that IFC format does not take much space. So you could have 20, 30, 50 projects in collaboration with other free users and also users. Basically, what we are offering is a free collaboration cloud, a lot of free applications together with paid applications, but a lot of them are free. And yes, you can, I mean, the subscription is free, okay? Okay. So I think that I have not missed any questions. Have I, this basic architectural? Yeah, it's free. Basically, it's a free solution for our clients for now to be able to draw. You know, probably you will see a lot of improvements because we have 36 years of history in calculating structures, installations, and electricity, but we only have a couple of years of history in developing software for architecture. So just give us time and you will see more developed software that is able to feature more stuff. IFC Building Smart, you will find us in the Peking event this year. And yes, I think I have answered everything. Yes, so I'm not sure, we are a little short of time, so I'm just gonna show you this layout software, which was the topic for this webinar. And nevertheless, if you have interest in anything else you have seen here, like the augmented reality feature that is free or whatever, you can ask us for explanation, and we will be pleased to actually tell you more about that. So this Open BIM Layout is a really new software we have just developed. This has less than 5 years of history for now. So, 5 months of history. I mean, this is really new. So this is a software meant for developing the plans of the project. A lot of our software already was able to develop plans. For example, CYPE, which you may know for structure calculation, was able to draw the reinforcement plans itself. But we wanted a software that was able to, draw all the different disciplines at the same time in order to produce the documentation for the whole project. You know, all the layers we have just seen here. This is another project. You may know this building as well. It is a really famous one from Alvar Aalto. Yes. So yes, basically this is it. So in the drawing software, you can create a new project. I'm just gonna show you accept, select one, and I'm just gonna select one of my projects. For example, this one of Alvarado I was just about to show you. Okay. The started session does not match of the accounts. Okay. This is because the other user used this computer with his, okay, admin server center account. I'm just gonna have to add my account to the synchronizer. Site.com. Okay. Add. Okay. Accept. Okay, this should, oops, this should work already. This, let me take a look at this. Now it has to synchronize with my account, which might take a while because it has to detect all my projects. Maybe I should have selected the only project I want to show you, but yes, it's loading. We have, it is working already, no? Yes, it is. We have to wait because this project is really, really big. It is a 20-story tower with all the electrical mechanism and also the furniture, suspended ceilings, etc. Here you can see all the files that I have developed with individual software. This was actually only basic software for architecture, but nevertheless it contains a lot of information already, which is readable by later more specific software for calculation. If I just finish, you will be able to see what I'm talking about. You might find this software a little, not as complete as other solutions we have, but that is because this is under development. But anyway, we think that it is important to provide a solution for representation as soon as possible. So just take a look and bear in mind that we will be able to improve what you see now in further versions. It is loading. Yes, loading. This program, as I told you, is really, really new. It only has basic feature for now, but again, it's free as well as the other, as IFC Builder. That means that you can produce your graphic documentation with this thing, even though you do not have to have a paid software for developing Open BIM IFC graphical documentation. So the program is really basic. You have here your views, which are the floor plans and the perspectives, and you can create new views. For example, I will create a new 3D view. You can create it with a name. So this is it, okay? And the idea is that you can define as many views as you want. You can actually draw dimensions in the drawing, snapping. You can, yes, as I told you, add dimensions. You can add text and labels. For example, I don't know, whatever, and with a frame. And then afterwards, you can just print what you have. When you print what you have, it will ask the user to select the views that he wants to print and export to the DXF DBG. I click OK, and then you just wait for it to compose the plans. And then if I see the detail of all the drawings, you will be able to see that it has produced the plans and the documentation for the project. And you will be able to keep tracks of all the disciplines developed by different professionals, by different softwares in the cloud. So I'm really sorry that you wait so long to see just this, but this is just basic, but you will see great improvements of this tool in the following months. So yes, just be sure to pay attention and keep up for new features. This is very good. What formats will it read? IFC. It is IFC. The format is Open BIM, which is IFC. Basically, you can produce IFC. For what formats will it save to? Actually, this saves an IFC file containing the planes, which can be in PDF, the DXF, DBG, etc. Because as I told you before, One good thing about the IFC is that it can be used as a container for other formats. These are IFCs, but if you open them of this project, you will find all these files. Okay. Can I aggregate different models into a single model, architecture, map, etc.? Well, actually, yes and no. The different disciplines are split, even though you can visualize them together. And we have also a free tool, which is this one, which is something similar to Solibri for coordination. This means that inside the software, you can see all the disciplines together. And also in the platform, you can see everything together in order to make the coordination part of the project. Why splitting the disciplines? Well, you know that the projects of architecture in BIM are becoming more and more complex. This means that the files are growing in size and also in complexity. And that means that if you try to keep everything inside a single file, you will find a lot of problems of stability. And there are softwares that are using single files, for example, Revit, and it obliges that software to make linked files when you have bigger projects, because Revit itself could not handle everything inside a single file without links. We think that it is better, instead of splitting the projects, just splitting it by disciplines and allowing each user to develop its own discipline with a software which will be more stable, because it does not have to handle that much amount of information. So yes, actually, you develop each thing into a different software, and then you put it all together in the platform or in other software for coordination or whatever. And everything is contained inside the IFC files. So this is basically it. The objective of today was showing IFC Builder and Open BIM Layout, and also a little bit of the platform. Obviously, there's a lot of things I haven't told, but because if I told them, we would be here the whole day. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions about anything of this, you can write it to any of our support mails or whatever, and we will be pleased to answer any of your questions. So we just encourage you to make a BIM Server Center account, which is free, and just test some of the free softwares and tell us what you think about them. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoy and that this wasn't really boring or anything. And yeah, and next week, if you have any interest about a suspended ceiling or electrical mechanism or stairs or residential furniture or other stuff you have seen in the platform, next week we are going to explain the rest of the architectural programs we have developed. So stay tuned for knowing more about them. Thank you very much for your attendance, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.